Within this video, we will explain you what you can do with webhooks within Alumio. So this is the overview page where you can see all of the webhooks that are within the system. Currently, we only have one webhook within this system, and we have the actions of, for example, again, exporting, copying, duplicating it, and deleting it. So copying in this case would only be the URL of which we would talk to access this webhook. Here we can also create a new webhook, and we could say, for example, webhook to give data to system B, for example. So in the case of a webhook, the first thing you see is an incoming configuration. So the incoming configuration is actually the incoming configuration that will be connected to a route and therefore also to an outgoing configuration. So that way, what a webhook does within Alumio, it picks up the data, it gives an immediate response to the system that provided the data towards Alumio, saying, okay, I will handle this data. We could even say, I would like to have a custom response of showing how or what happened with that data. Or we could just go for a default one, but it doesn't give a necessarily response of saying what happened to the data. So in this case, it will actually be handled by the incoming configuration and the outgoing configuration, mainly of when it will be processed out and where it will be sent to. So let's say in this case, we have a webhook, which is the webhook get product stock, which is an incoming configuration itself that will handle the data that we would give in this case to system B, for example. From there, we could also say if we want to have more incoming configurations enabled to it, and then we also want to enable logging or not. Here again, same as the HTTP proxies, we have request validators of saying, okay, what kind of headers do we want to accept by being sent to the system? So an example could be we want to do, for example, an authentication header of the pattern of QWE, and therefore only the auth header with auth QWE will be accepted by the system, and otherwise we could provide a specific message if we would like to. We could also say, okay, let's say if there's a more authentications possible, we could say, okay, either auth is the QWE, or we have, for example, the auth being 123. So those options you have in there. We could also additionally say validators as the post process of doing those same things. In this case, we do not have the possibility here on the spot to do entity transformers because those entity transformers will be happening within the incoming configuration or the route or the outgoing configuration for that sense. If we would save this and we would like to talk to the system, it will be copying this link and there we can post information to have that information provided through this incoming, through then a route, and therefore towards an outgoing and going into system B in that case. We also have the possibilities of checking the logs here at the spot, of seeing what kind of information came in and what kind of information was received by the system.